Cockney and Son, now don't be daft. We've got proper opinions and plenty of graft. Old school chat with a podcast twist. So stick the kettle on, you don't want to miss. Cockney and Son, 2 generations in one London. Cool, blimey, governor. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the 3rd episode of Cockney and Son. Very excited to be here. How are you feeling about it all?
Yes, amazing. It's been, a good response from the public.
Yeah. Have you had any offers, any TV offers for your own show?
Not at the moment. I'm looking around for management.
Yeah. Anyone tried to poach you?
And an agent.
Yeah. So before we begin episode 3, we have some goals that we hit this week, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Did you believe that we could do this, or have you just been humouring me this whole time?
No, I was surprised. Well, I am surprised that we've reached, so many so far, so quick.
Yeah. Do you know how many followers we now have on Instagram?
We've got over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes.
I mean, you could still up your story game.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Right, I'm getting to it.
Okay, well, today you posted one as a grid post.
Oh, no, I did not.
Do you know what that is?
No.
YouTube, the goal was hitting 100 subscribers, which we haven't done quite yet, but we're nearly there.
That takes time.
87 something.
Yeah.
So this is just a quick friendly reminder. Anyone who does watch the podcast on YouTube, go and subscribe now. So let's kick episode 3 off then.
Go blimey, governor. It's now time for a bit of a natter.
So again, we asked our fabulous Instagram followers to pick a topic. Now, I was a little bit disappointed, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah?
Because I wanted conspiracy theories.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a conspiracy theory about that.
Yeah, there is. People are against me. 2 dads in London, Richard is the favourite, and I'm starting to feel that you might be coming out on top as the favourite for this one.
Well,
Is there a message that I should be telling myself?
No, not at all. It's just like, they just, a lot of people want a father figure, don't they?
The relate...
Don't they?
I hope not. Conspiracy theories I might actually do another week though, because I'm very interested.
There's a lot of them about.
There is.
Whether they're true or not.
But the topic of the week for a bit of a natter is things that we believed in as kids.
Yes.
So stuff that your parents said to you, grandparents said to you that you actually believed.
Okay.
And it's sort of working out where they came from, and at the same time, did you pass any of them down to me and my brother?
Most probably,
Okay.
Yeah, I think there must have been a couple that was handed down.
So I've got some examples, some from the 60s and then some from the 80s and 90s. Okay, so this is more, did your parents ever say this to you?
Yeah.
Right, number 1 was, if the wind changes, your face will stay like that.
Yeah, and it did.
Did it? That's a rough wind.
It's more of an hurricane.
So somebody, somewhere, this is the stuff that really keeps me up at night. It's some things like this started somewhere, and it could have been really random that somebody in a pub or whatever said to their kid, if the wind changes, your face will stay like that. And it's been picked up and passed down.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, all the sort of parents used to say things like that.
I forgot to fill your water up.
Apart from, I thought it was
Have you got a dry mouth?
Oh, was it a dry house?
I can see you going like that.
Yeah.
Have a sip.
No, but back in the days, all the parents and aunties and grandparents said things like that.
I think people got together and go, right, there's things that we need to say to kids to keep them.
Well, their mums might, they're like my grandparents might have said it to their children, mightn't they? You don't know, do you?
But I don't even think that kids nowadays make silly faces, do they? Like, I don't think I've ever seen
Well, they do. I think they make faces, but
it's not really a thing, is it?
It's not really a thing. It's not picked up upon, is it?
No.
Like some of the parents.
If the wind changes, your face will stay like that.
Yeah, but then there was a few other words, swear words in that sentence from my family.
So what I'll do is I'll do one from the 60s, 70s, one from the 80s and 90s. So I don't think that you and Mum ever told me this one. Oh, actually, it would make sense why you never told us this one. It was, you could get pregnant from kissing. Obviously, I couldn't get pregnant from kissing. But
No.
Have you heard that one before?
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah,
Is that to scare?
Yeah,
girls?
it's to scare girls. As soon, when girls got to a certain age.
Yeah.
When the hormones start kicking and that. You know.
So rather than having a sensible sit-down conversation about, emotions and what you might be feeling like and
of course,
and that sort of stuff, it was better to say that scare them into thinking that they might get pregnant.
Well, it's a bit of a get out, wasn't it? To not, and as you say, sit down and have the conversation with them.
Slight manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Of course. That's what it was back then.
That's what parenting was back there.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And this generation, we're trying to undo all of that
of
sort of stuff. Another one from the 60s. You'd catch a cold if you went outside with wet hair.
Yes, I've heard that one.
You won't now.
Well, I have a wet head.
So obviously that was to scare people into drying their hair.
Well, yeah, because like that was especially like if you went swimming lessons with the school.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of schools don't do swimming lessons anymore, do they?
Kids' school do.
And then you go there, like you used to go to Fulham Baths.
Yeah.
Have our swimming lessons.
Not back at the Fulham Baths, are we?
And then they go, better dry your hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a bit of hair back then.
Yeah.
But it's whether they just said that so you actually dried your hair because I don't think there's many hair dryers about. Many people's houses say it was like rub dub with the old
rub it up, dry your hair. Well, actually, a lot of the year 4s go swimming. That's the year that they go do the swimming lessons at school, and it swaps between class. So if you were the class that goes swimming in the winter, then you'd have to walk back.
Oh yeah.
To the school in the winter of the hair.
With ice.
And a lot of parents were moaning that the girls more than the boys' hair was wet.
Yeah, have ice on your head.
Quicksand. No, I actually saw this on social media and actually had it struck something in my memory that quicksand was a massive thing, I think, when me and Philip were younger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone was scared of quicksand.
Yes.
Why? I don't think I've ever seen quicksand. But just the fear of being... And I actually think I know where it started when I was thinking about this earlier.
Sucked under by the sand.
Do you remember that film? Because I don't suppose age ranges really bothered you, showing me the movies that we used to watch when we were younger. But The Never Ending Story, do you remember?
I do.
Where he gets stuck in the sand.
Yeah.
Right, so the ice cream... This is actually still a current one. This was definitely passed down from generation to generation.
Go on then.
And I've used this. The ice cream man only played the music when he'd run out.
Yes, that was...
That's true.
Yeah. My dad used to be an ice cream man.
Did he?
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he used to be an ice cream man.
What was his ice cream fan called?
I don't know. Mr. Whitby or something like that?
No, that's what you just copied the name, Mr. Whitby.
Well, no, that's all it was back then, wasn't it, Mr. I don't know. And he was an ice cream man for a while. And we had like...
Did you get free ice cream every day then?
Well, I know this sounds bad, but we had ice cream every night for pudding, and it got to a stage.
For dinner?
It got so bad though, it's like...
I feel like a joke is coming.
No, it got so bad that we had it every night, which, well, back then was like a luxury to have ice cream every night.
Those Middletons.
Yeah, and it got to a stage where I couldn't eat it anymore. And now sometimes I go out and people say, do you want ice cream? And I don't eat it because...
So it scarred you?
It scarred me, yeah.
She was offered ice cream so much.
Yeah, it was after every dinner we had to put in, it was ice cream.
Think of all that money your dad missed out on because all those parents were telling their kids that it meant that he'd run out.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he gave it up because he had a crash and he got Mr. Whippy-Lash. There you go.
I told you, I knew it. So this one is from the 1960s, but I remember Nan telling me this one. And it was about swallowing chewing gum meant that it stayed in you for 7 years. But to make it worse, I think Nan went up a level and told me that it would tangle my organs up, and then told me, oh my God, thinking about it now, she told me that there was a child that had passed away from that, and that there was a grave that people visited that said something along the lines of a rhyme that said, chewing gum did me wrong, or something like that. So I don't know if she's very creative and she made this whole thing up just so we wouldn't have a hubba bubba.
Was it after a whiskey?
I don't know.
No, we were told it'd go around your ribs.
Yeah.
On the inside, but nothing on that scale.
Yeah, traumatised, slightly. Spiders crawl into your mouth at night. This is a 60s one.
Spiders crawl in your mouth at night?
Apparently, if you go to sleep...
Yeah.
And...
When you wake up, if you had something...
Well, no. Apparently, though, I think this is actually a true fact.
Yeah.
I think it says, let's go with number 5, could be wrong. 5 spiders crawl into your mouth.
Really?
And then you eat them.
Well.
Have you ever woken up like...
No. Oh, not at all.
Bit hairy in the mouth?
Sorry?
Go brush your teeth.
Wouldn't you wake up if it was...
Well, you'll be asleep, isn't it?
No, but I mean, I'm a like.
How strong or heavy do you think this spider is?
Well, it depends how big it is. It might be a tarantula.
Right. Okay. So where do you think these beliefs started from? Do you think it's just like a form of like manipulation, parenting manipulation?
Yeah, but I mean, why say about the? I mean, you're saying about the spiders. Most really stop kids going to sleep, wouldn't it?
So things that we believed as kids.
Yeah.
Do you think they're scarier back then or now?
Well, I mean, some of the sayings, wouldn't it? It's like, oh, you know, what are you crying for? I'll give you something to cry for in a minute.
Right.
And stuff like that, you know, and I'll wipe that smile off your face.
Something's clicked in your brain there.
Yeah.
You went back to your childhood there.
I did. It was, but
I'll wipe that smile off your face.
Yeah.
But that thing is, that is things that people said back then, and I'm pretty sure they'd probably say.
But I mean, that
now.
one, you know, if you're crying,
Yeah.
you're obviously crying for some reason. Then they go, "What are you crying for?
Yeah.
Stop crying. Otherwise, I'll give you something to cry for." And you think,
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that is, you know, I think that we could do a really good episode on parenting. But obviously, like it is crazy nowadays that the things that used to get said to kids and in schools and it's like if I said to the boy, if I said to him, if you pull that face and the wind changes, your face is going to stay like that. Is he going to go, what, bruv?
yeah, most probably. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Well, do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm saying that was believable. It
Yeah.
must have been believable
Yeah,
enough.
and I think it's sometimes the way it's said as well.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's what I'm saying. Back then, when that saying was used, it was obviously popular enough for each of these parents to take it on board.
Yeah.
Like if obviously you're out with your parents' friends and then somebody says something and that works.
I think it was like where like your mum or your dad or whoever might be like talking to you and you're not listening. You put a face.
Yeah.
And they hit you with that.
But do you think you was actually scared that your face was going to stay the same?
When it happened. Yeah, because
That's. But I don't think
depends.
that.
I think it all depends how old you was.
Yeah.
I think if you was younger, then most probably. But as you got older, you think.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be as bad. But
I definitely feel that parenting in itself, which we won't talk about, I will say is a game completely different.
Of course.
Kettle of fish, as the saying goes. But I think with technology and the stuff that.
And plus, there's not a lot of discipline about as well. When I was that age, how they talk to their parents, and they just let it go, and you're thinking, I wouldn't even get that sentence out. That's very interesting, because I do feel it's a really hard subject to talk about, which is why we should have talked about it this episode. So we're going to say this. Okay.
That's what we're going to talk about on episode 4, parenting.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like because of, graphics, green screen, that it's getting harder to scare.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the kids can go onto so many different sites. Yeah. Unless your parents put a lock on it.
Yeah.
Like you can do. Well, I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. So,
there's so much things out there.
Yeah. Things that you believed, like the wind changing your face, and me believing that chewing gum was going to wrap around. It's quite scary to think what you're going to have to say to kids.
Yeah, of course.
To get the same, response. Anyway. Well, that was our bit of a natter.
Yes.
About things that you believed in and I believed in.
Yes. Good subject.
All making us crazy.
Yeah, of course.
It's now time for...
Adam and Eve it? Would you? I can't believe it. Adam and Eve it.
A lot of sirens around, ain't there? Yeah. I'm getting a bit nervous.
So, for episode 3, would you Adam and Eve it? The part that you get to rant about something that has annoyed you in the past week. What are you going to rant about this week?
Well, I think it's going to be the weather.
The weather?
Yeah.
You're upset with the weather?
No, I'm not upset with it. I love the sun.
So, in sort of the south of the UK, we can safely say we had a heat wave. So, but what has upset you about that?
Well, people keep moaning again. Oh, isn't it hot?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, we only have it not many weeks of the year.
Yeah.
And then come Octoberish, you're going to start getting the grey weather, the dark nights. It's going to go right round to like March.
Yeah.
And go out to work and it's dark. They come home in the dark. And you're thinking, why moan when it's nice and sunny? And you know, I think when it's sunny, the people seem to be more friendlier. cheerier. Yeah, they've got a bit more smile on their face. Spring their step.
They smile at you? Do you smile at them?
Yeah, sometimes.
They run away?
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
And a little spring their step, they think, oh, it's lovely sun, they get a bit of, get a vitamin D on the old skin.
Safely.
Yeah, of course.
So your rant is Brits
moan. But what makes you laugh though, they moan about the weather, they go, oh, it's hot, it's hot. Then they go abroad.
Ain't it hot?
I mean, back in the day, when they go abroad where it's even hotter.
But touching on that, you do know that there's a thing, I don't know what to call it, a British thing, that we can handle heat abroad, but we can't handle it in the UK. And even I've seen people that have been from countries that are a lot hotter, they say that they can't handle it. Yeah. So what is it about the British heat?
I just think it's just that we're not used to having, like, if you get 2 or 3 weeks, people can't handle it. I mean, back in '76, obviously everyone knows about the hot summer. You had all them weeks of baking hot weather. Yeah. You know, rivers were drying up and stuff like that.
What, the Thames?
No, not the Thames. You know,
what river dried up?
Some rivers were, they were drying up. People were like...
Read all about it. Rivers dried up.
But you had to go to there was not enough water. You was going out to standpipes to get your water.
Right.
I think what it is, if you knew that when the summer came and you was guaranteed so many weeks hot weather, it monthly won't be so bad. But because it come, like the other week it was quite warm and then it went a bit chilly again, I think people, that's what they're moaning about.
So do you think, like, let's just say a typical Brit, because it's inconvenient when it's hot and then it goes to cold and then it's hot again, do you think that that's more the issue than the actual temperature?
Yeah, most probably, And also,
we like a bit of order, don't we?
Yeah, because they don't, they come out and they go, oh, don't know what to put on today.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks a bit... Oh, even though you can come out, the sun's not shining, but it's still quite warm. Yeah. They will put a coat on.
So you're basically saying, your rant of the week is British people, moaning when it's hot. Yeah. Because it's too hot and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you said that, I wanted to just get your view on this, even though I know what it's going to be. It's like, when you compare us to other countries, and then there's some British people that refuse to work in buildings, like office buildings, because it's too hot there. What's your take on that?
When I was in the Royal Mail, and we'd be sorting out letters before the...
Majority an outside job though.
When we went out, but before we went outside, we had to sort all the letters and all that. There was no aircon or fans, all that. Just go on with it, Yeah. But people, and then it's got to a stage now with some companies. If it gets to a certain temperature, we can stop working. And you're thinking, so if that temperature was for weeks, that company wouldn't get no work done, would it? Yeah. But I mean, a lot of the buildings now are aircon.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going to say. A lot of the people who see videos or on social media, whatever, Brits moaning about how hot it is, and they can't believe that we don't have aircon in our houses.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, because and the thing is, you get an aircon put in your house. Yeah. You might not need it after a couple of weeks. That's the problem you've got.
But there are times that you can't sleep.
Oh yeah, of course.
That you wish you did it. So yeah. So if you had the money...
Oh, yeah. But most probably all the sort of...
What?
The upper class. Yeah. They mostly got all the aircon and all that. But, if you're an ordinary working person, like working class, and you've got...
But I don't know.
How do you get an aircon thing in your house?
I think aircon for a Brit is unjustified. Like, we just can't understand it. Yeah. Because I think most people don't even know how much it would cost to put aircon into a house.
Yeah, no, but
because we refuse to do it.
You see a load of people that sometimes when it gets hot, they go out and buy a load of fans. Well, a couple of weeks later, you might not need it.
So do you feel like people in the 70s handled heat better than nowadays?
Well, no, because back then, a lot of people didn't even use sun cream back then.
That's very important.
They was going to the beach and all that. Oh, it's lovely, and they'd just be sitting there frying.
Do you see the photos of like Victorian people on the beach and they're in like full suits?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how hot it must have been. Like, it must not have been enjoyable.
Well, no, it's not even Victorian times. I mean, back in the
What, when you went? No.
No, but if you went to the seaside or something with your nan and granddad and all that, your granddad would be sitting there. He'd have a tie on, shirt, trousers, shoes. your nan might have a summer dress on.
Yeah.
But let's say, well, no one...
No, but I don't see how that's enjoyable, because the sun is still the sun, isn't it?
People dress different,
So you think... I think Victorian people force themselves to go to the beach and enjoy it. So you're ranting about the weather, so what... You just want people to stop moaning about it and get on with it.
Yeah, just
basically saying get on with it.
No, enjoy it. Why it's here.
Don't moan about it, because, like you're saying, come October and those dark nights,
and it's so dull and grey and horrible.
The rain, and those people moan. They start moaning when it's raining, don't they?
Yeah, of course they. God, ain't it cold?
Yeah, ain't it cold? Ain't it dark?
Oh, it's raining again. It's been raining for a week.
I think that
you just can't please them.
A lot of British people like to say the same things at the same time.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Ain't it getting dark now?
Yeah.
Soon it'll be like dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You get to a certain date, although you don't like celebrating anything to do with Christmas for. Ain't it come quick?
Yeah.
Ain't it quick?
No, they go, and people say, "God, really gone quick." The year. We're going into July next week.
If we ever get a book publishing deal from this, I feel like you should just create Steve's sayings and just have a load of sayings.
No, but it's true, though, isn't it? People go, "God, it's a summer holiday, 6 weeks summer holiday already."
Yeah.
They've only just had a week off.
Yeah. But I bet they are people that don't have kids.
But the thing is, when I was school age, I don't remember the holidays coming around that quick.
Yeah.
But I used to love the 6 weeks holiday.
Kicking your ball against the wall.
Oh, lovely. No, we just, smashing windows and that,
Knock down Ginger.
Yeah. Oh, Ginger hated it.
It's that Steve again.
Every day we knocked down Ginger. He didn't
Get off my door.
He didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy the weather while you can.
I do think it is a thing, and it has made its way from everyone saying, "Oh, it's so what, oh, I can't stand it, it's so muggy, blah blah blah," and that has moved on to social media, because I see it every year.
I think it's different.
Same content every year.
It's different when you're in a city.
But what I'm saying though, I think it's just become tradition, familiar.
Well,
every part of the year we need to get to that point.
Well, it's like Brit when he gets in the cab.
Yeah.
I've bet them all.
Yeah.
Been busy.
So final thing. Say it like Steve. You just your main thing you want to say to these people is just get on with it.
Just enjoy it. No, not get on with it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, especially some of the ideas. Take off your 4 cardigans.
Yeah.
You might be so hot.
So if anyone's near you until October and moans about how hot it is, don't talk to you. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, of course.
So say it like Steve is, just enjoy it.
Majority of people, they should come out, wake up in the morning, look out, oh, it's lovely, it's going to be a lovely day today.
Get out like your mum.
Out you go.
Your mum said, get out.
Get out.
Come back when the lights are on.
Or don't come back at all.
Gosh, imagine that.
A couple of times I went home, they moved.
Say it like Steve, just enjoy the weather, because
enjoy
you know
the
what?
Weather.
Soon you'll be the person moaning that it's dark at 4 o'clock.
And then you'll have your Christmas songs coming on.
Right. It's now time for one lucky person to have their problem solved with...
Don't sugarcoat it. Sometimes in life, you just gotta say it like Steve.
So Say It Like Steve is the advice corner.
Okay.
The part of the podcast where you're going to pass on your years of wisdom, been around the block, because you were a postman, you walked around a lot of blocks.
I did.
Yeah? You've met lots of people.
I had met a lot of celebrities as well.
Celebrities. You used to deliver to quite a few celebrities, but we can't talk about that in case they sue us.
Yes.
Okay? One was a chef.
Yes.
You give good advice.
I think so.
And we've obviously now come into episode 3, people are starting to realise that your advice might not be sugar-coated, it might not be what they want to hear. Maybe,
I don't know. Some people, as I said earlier, some people can't take it when it's told to them straight. But,
So last week we spoke about relationships,
yes.
And then obviously we had a question that was essentially like dating. Well, this one, thank God.
What have we got this one?
Thank God it's got nothing to do with relationship advice, because we can't keep making people get divorced.
No. It's a divorce rate gone up. It's only been 2 episodes.
Since you talked about Tinder, that's gone under. Everyone's been deleting that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No one's swiping left?
No. The footfall in the local pubs have gone up.
Okay.
So they can go around. What?
What?
You would go for a pie and mash, do you? So this one is a career, like work. It's a work related.
Yes.
Right, so the question this week is career advice. Do you think you're qualified to give career advice?
Oh, it depends what sort of job it is.
Well, no, career advice is just could be translated into everything.
Yeah, true. Well, let me...
You want to know?
Yeah, what's the question?
Okay. Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
I love my job, but I've got a manager who talks over me in meetings, never gives me credit, and is affecting my confidence. I don't want to quit, but I also don't want to be treated like a mug. What would you do?
Yeah, well, you get that in a lot of jobs.
Have you had that in your job before?
No, not really, no. Because, no, I mean, when I first started Royal Mail, the management was like, sort of, it was still like they was in the army.
Right.
I was a telegram boy between 16...
What was your uniform?
It was a bit rough.
Yeah?
And like, when it rains, you've got like blue legs. But then, so when you get 18, you become a postman, right? So, but then when you went there...
So that's the career. Telegram boy.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. Then postman at 18.
So you started at 16?
16.
Right, okay.
And then you had to, at 18, you become a postman. But then it was like, the management there was, it was like regimental. Because a lot of the postmen had done their national service and that, and a lot of them were from the army.
Yeah. So it's sort of used to it.
But it was like the rules were
very strict.
Very strict rules, like, you know, with the uniform. Like, you see some of the postmen nowadays, terrible. And then
smarten up, Royal Mail.
Yeah, smarten up, yeah, and get those post boxes painted.
Get them done.
Yeah, because you walk around there, you see some of the post boxes just terrible.
They have those knitted things on top and places.
I know, that's only because some ladies got like plenty of time on their hands.
Yeah. And then it gets stolen, and then you see it on the area group, the Facebook group.
But I mean, if there was a post box that was faded, like you see some of them now, or going a bit rusty.
Did you paint it?
No, they had a
team. But it's cutting costs though, isn't it? It's too expensive. You can't just have a team of people go around painting red mailboxes.
But people, that's what I mean. Years ago, people looked upon the Royal Mail, like, your uniform was smart.
Yeah.
You had your hat on.
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but I feel like the Royal Mail recently...
It's gone right down.
Had it gone downhill?
Yeah, of course. I reckon all managers and all that should give you credit. You know, if you're doing the work.
Where credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some people they go, you know, above and do more than what they actually should do. You know, and then you got this management going, not giving you credit, or, you know, not even a bit of, you know, oh, well done, you've done well there.
Yeah.
You know. And then if you keep doing it, and then you get the knockback like this person's getting, you're going to think in the end, I'm not, you know, is it really worth me doing? Or then what they start doing, then they start not doing as much. Yeah. And then that management's going to come back and go, hold on a minute, you're going to have to up your game.
This manager talks over him in meetings.
Yeah, which is bad. Then what you know, maybe what this person should do is maybe have a little, you know, can I have
a one-to-one?
Yeah, can I have a word with you?
Can we book in a one-to-one?
Yeah, you know, have you got a problem with me? Why don't you let me speak in meetings?
Speak to HR.
Yeah.
Get someone in the meeting.
Or go above him. He obviously got a manager.
Yeah.
You're entitled to have your say.
So that's quite professional advice you're giving.
Yeah,
rather than saying, you should tell him to do one. You're saying, go to HR, go through the proper channels. HR, not happy with this person.
Yeah,
can we arrange a meet?
We have a meeting. You know, can you sit in at the meeting and observe how he's doing the meeting? I mean, we used to have a meeting every Tuesday at Royal Mail.
Yeah, in a big room.
In a big room, the builder postman. Our manager will come in and say, this has got to happen, this has got to happen, and all that. But then,
yes, sir.
Then if one of the postmen wanted to say something, he would listen.
Yeah.
You know, there was none of this talking.
Respect is
no,
what you're saying.
I mean, you could be asking the question, and he'd go. He wouldn't go, oh, what did you say? And all that. He would let you answer your question and that. And that's how it should be. You know,
did they call you Postman Steve?
Did they call what?
Postman Steve. Like Postman Pat. Was everyone called like Postman Mark? What are the names of some of your postman friends quickly that you gave them?
What nicknames?
Yeah.
No, there was one woman there, her name was Enda May, her name was. So I used to call her June.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. And then they had this old boy, he had a limp.
Yeah.
And they used to call him a sniper's nightmare.
Right.
So there was one there, because his name was Pete, pop it in Pete.
Pop the letter in.
Yeah,
Pete.
pop it in Pete.
So what was the thing up from a postman called?
Postman higher grade.
Was you ever approached to be a postman higher
grade?
I
could have done it.
But no, that wasn't the question.
Yeah.
Was you approached?
Yeah.
Steve, I feel like you've got it.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, I just turned it down. I didn't want to work in...
So you didn't want to climb the corporate ladder?
I didn't want to work inside.
You didn't want to work inside?
And I didn't think I'd be management material.
Why's that?
Because we used to get away with some of the things.
That's what I mean. Say it like Steve. Easy life.
No,
you don't want to be a manager because you just want to mess around, yeah?
No, not mess around. I mean, I've done my job. When I went, I'd done my job properly.
Yeah. Those letters got posted.
They did.
Right, so...
Yeah, I think...
Recapping.
Yes, have a word with him, try and get a one-to-one. If he's not interested, go above him and just try and sort out the problem.
Right, so that's...
Because you don't want to go to work and knowing that you're not worthy of your job, or,
not getting the credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and also you don't... And then also you're going to get unhappy, then you'll take that unhappiness home.
Yeah.
No job's worth that.
You think the generation is too soft?
Well, no, some people would have most really do
I couldn't.
No, someone most really would have go, oh, what's your problem? Why didn't you let me speak and all that,
Well, you've met Richard after he's come home from work a few times.
Yes, yeah, I have, yeah.
I mean, he's a younger generation, isn't he? Kind of.
Yes, I know, but it's, why do people think, because they're management, that they're better than you? Just try and be more human.
Kind.
More human and like say, I mean, what's the point of having a meeting if you're not going to let the people speak? You might as well just stand there in the room yourself.
Just got to pop it like Pete. Yeah. Pop it like Pete and say it like Steve. Right, so, well, I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah.
Just go through the proper channels.
Yeah.
HR, make sure you get someone to sit in with you with this meeting.
Yeah.
And hopefully...
Yeah, always have someone in with you.
They get it sorted, yeah? Well, that was it. Say it like Steve. Just this week, actually quite timid and go for the proper channels.
Yes, I'm quite... Yeah, no,
it's just a relationship advice that you're brutal with, yeah?
Well, no, I could have been more brutal with that, but I just...
Well, that's not saying it like Steve then, is it?
No, but you can't...
You're sugarcoating the answer, your whole section.
I'm just saying two choices.
Yeah.
You either...
This sounds more like, say, like Steve, you've got two choices.
You've got two choices. You either let him have it, say, oh, what's your problem, mate? Why do you let me speak and all that, and be aggressive?
Well, governor.
Which mostly won't get you nowhere.
Yeah.
Or, go above him.
Go above him.
Some people, because they've got management, they think they've got this power.
Yeah.
And you're thinking,
no.
You know what I mean?
There we go.
Job's worthy, that's the words.
Bit of job's worth.
Yeah.
You don't like a job's worth.
No. Don't need for it.
Don't be a job. So there we go.
Don't be it. Don't be a job's worthy. Be nice to your staff.
Your actual extra advice to the manager is, don't be a job's worth.
Yeah.
Because no one likes a job's worth.
No one likes you.
Perfect.
Oh, it's time for Cockney Slang Word of the Week. Apples and pears. Down the stairs. You get what I'm saying?
So last week, episode 2, Cockney Slang Word of the Week was... Do you remember?
It was Aunt Nell.
Aunt Nell. Actually, not as many people...
They didn't get it?
No, not many people commented this week.
Really?
They were too excited about the competition.
Most probably. I can understand that.
Yeah. So we're going to pick a winner. Yeah?
That's what they're getting.
We're going to follow them back and a personalised message.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
Okay, go on then.
Right. So, this week's Cockney Slang Word of the Week is...
Mince pies.
Mince pies. Right. So, don't Google it. Google it. Don't Google it, as always.
Don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, don't look it up. Just have a little guess. And then when I put on the reel for this, like the highlight reel, that's the one where I want you to comment on. Or if you're watching on YouTube. Okay?
Yes.
Before we end episode 3, we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's stuck with us so far. Nearly 100 subscribers on YouTube. Let's hope episode 3 ranks it up there.
Yeah, get on there and subscribe.
I mean, we've got past 1,000 followers on Instagram quite easily.
Well, yeah,
What's
I mean,
the goal?
1,095 last time I looked.
You check it quite a lot then?
I do, just in case.
It's not about the followers.
Eh?
It's not about the followers.
No, but I just like to... No, because my phone keeps bleeping.
Do you want me to switch notifications?
No, I like it when it bleeps now. Yeah, I have a look and it's climbing.
Right.
Which is like amazing.
So we need everyone to download and stream episode 3 because we want to stay up there in that 15%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're nearly there. Is there anything you want to say to our lovely audience?
Yeah, keep the...
Streaming.
Keep streaming, subscribe, enjoy it, watch it on YouTube. Follow, share,
comment, tag your friends,
because I'm sure they would love to come and join us.
Yeah.
And every week.
And you want us to get
and it'd be nice if we could get a sponsor.
So we could do it in a studio.
So we can do it in a studio instead of a boardroom.
Well, I think that was
we can be very professional then.
Yeah, I think that is, if we don't get a sponsorship based on that little speech there, it was heartfelt.
It was.
I think
it must really bring tears to some
tears
people's
on the
eyes.
tube as they go to work.
It'd bring a tear to a glass eye.
There we go. Well, there we go. That's the end of episode 3 of our podcast, Cockney and Son. Join us next week, episode 4, where we've already decided that we're talking about education.
Yes, that's a good subject.
Yeah, if you had it.